fantasy managers, this is FPL. I'm back again with another video on my channel. In this video, I'm going to revealing my final game week 1 team selection, which could probably be my final draft for this game week. Okay, so before we move into the video, please, if you are new to the channel, get subscribed yourself, hit a like in the video. Okay, so in my goalkeeper, I have selected Ryan from Brighton. And talking about Matthew Ryan, he is selected by 20.4% manager in the game. He's just behind in ownership. He's just behind McCarthy. Similarly, Ryan, last season they had 9 clean sheets. He saved 17 shots, and he scored 135 points, which is just 35 points behind Nick Pope from Burnley. Okay. Moving to defenders, I have selected Trent Alexander-Arnold from Liverpool, and for Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think I don't have to talk too much about him. He is the highest scoring defender in the game last season, and in last season he scored 4 goals and had 15 assists, and he scored 210 points, which is just behind De Bruyne, Salah, and Mane. And currently, he is the most owned player in whole game. He is selected by 55.4% of the total players. Okay, speaking of the third playing defender, I have selected Kyle Walker-Peters from Southampton. And in Southampton, he was last season he was on loan from Tottenham, and they made permanent signing of Kyle Walker-Peters at £12 million. And speaking of Kyle Walker-Peters, he is very good attacking in his attacking side, attacking part. He once assisted 3 in a single game. So moving on to the next, in midfielders, I have selected my big 4, or explosive 4, I want to say. And speaking of the first player, I have selected Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang from Arsenal. And for Aubameyang, previously he was selected, or he was categorized as forward, but from this season he is categorized as midfielder now. And speaking of Aubameyang, he is selected by 46.7% of the total players in FPL, and currently he is third most owned in FPL. And last season he scored 22 goals, which is just 1 behind Jamie Vardy, and he had 5 assists as well, and scored a total points of 205 points. And considering he is now a midfielder, that number, or that total points will increase by considerably by a far margin. Okay, moving to the next player in my midfield, I have selected Mohamed Salah from Liverpool. For Mohamed Salah, last season he had not a great season, but in spite of that, he was the second most high points gainer in the last season, and he's selected by 30.8% in the game, and he's the fourth most owned player in FPL. Last season he scored 19 goals, 10 assists, and scored a total points of 233 points, which is just behind Kevin De Bruyne. He's on penalties. He's a selfish player, and in comparison with Mane, Salah tends to move a ball more along, or he's more involved in the ball. Okay. Similarly, moving to the next one, I have selected Heung-min Son and Son from Tottenham Hotspur, and he's selected by 29.6% of the total players, and is 5th most owned player currently. And last season he scored 11 goals and had an assist of 13 assists, and scored total points of 169. And he's nailed on to starting 11 and can be very explosive on his day. And in the final fourth midfielder, I have selected Saint-Maximin from Newcastle. And speaking of Newcastle as a whole, last season Newcastle had a poor season. Even though they escaped relegation, but they had a comparatively poor season. But this year, with the addition of Ryan Fraser and Callum Wilson in attack, we might see more goals involvement of Saint-Maximin this season as well. Okay, moving to the final category, in the forwards, I have selected Calvert-Lewin from Everton. And speaking of Calvert-Lewin also, last season he scored 13 goals, had 1 assist, and with the addition of Rodriguez, Allen, and Dokori from Watford. And considering Carlo Ancelotti's full season now in the Premier League with Everton, that number would probably be increasing in the season. And this the addition of more midfield player in Everton makes Calvert-Lewin more appealing as well. And here he scored 126 points last season. And let's not forget that Calvert-Lewin went through the bizarre run of 10 blank after the project restart. Similarly, in the second position, the second striker in my team is Timo Werner. Timo Werner has been captured by Chelsea from RB Leipzig, and Timo Werner. Speaking of its stats, he is currently debuting in his Premier League career. Last season, he scored 28 goals and 6 assists in 34 Bundesliga games, and he is a German international and very good playing either as a main striker or operating through the middle. Okay, and the final striker position is Che Adams from Southampton again. Southampton has a favorable fixture or better fixtures than most of the teams, since for that reason also Southampton is gaining a lot of attraction from FPL managers. And speaking of the striker position in Southampton, Southampton plays 4-4-2 with 2 forwards. One, the sure starter is Danny Ings, whereas Che Adams also operates along with the Danny Ings. And last season, Che Adams, or after the project restart, Che Adams had a wonderful season, bagged in more goals and assists than Danny Ings. So I have selected this as a cover from Southampton, and probably a differential in comparison to Danny Ings. And speaking of bench, I have selected Walton from Brighton, non-playing goalkeeper. Susek from West Ham. He is also considered or said by many as Fellaini 2.0. And even though he's a defensive midfielder, he tends to go a lot in the box and is a threat from set pieces. Okay, the next bench player I have selected Nathan Ferguson from Crystal Palace, so-called the next Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and he is currently nursing from a knee injury. And the last final defender slot or bench slot I have given to Charlie Taylor from Burnley, and from Burnley he plays as a fullback, left fullback, and he has a blank in this game week and probably would start from next game. And currently, I have selected Aubameyang as my captain, Salah as my vice captain. Since the last time Arsenal played Fulham away, they scored, or the game ended as 5-1 to Arsenal. And there is not much to talk about this game week, as the game week. Okay, from this season, I would like to predict 2 MVP of the game week, most valuable player of the game week, and 1 I will include from premium players, and 1 I will like to improve from the budget players. And for this game week 1, the explosive player, the MVP 1 would be Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So mark my words, he will score a hat-trick or can even grab a brace. And the next player I think would score most points is Che Adams from Southampton. Okay guys, this much for today. I'll be wrapping my video. I'll be back again in another video on my channel which contains review of Game Week 1 and preview of Game Week 2. Till then, stay safe. Bye bye.